Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Mastermind, and this is a new heist crime thriller from writer-director Kelly Reichardt, and starring Josh O'Connor, and in 1970, failed architect James Blaine Mooney and cohorts wander into a museum in broad daylight and steal 4 paintings. When holding on to the art proves more difficult than stealing them, Mooney is relegated to a life on the run. And this film, it's very interesting coming from Kelly Reichardt, who is known for very specific kinds of dramas with certain women. Even First Cow showing up. It's much more of the mundane and putting you into these places. But Kelly Reichardt's films have a very distinct feel and atmosphere to them. And it's interesting seeing that atmosphere and very character, slice of life kind of approach to storytelling, mixed with a genre that's so plot based, and so much of heist films relies upon the twists and turns, those specific check boxes that you want out of a heist film, like getting the team together, doing the heist, things go wrong on the heist, how are they going to get out of it? And what Reichardt's able to do still is, you look at this film and there is a warmth, there is a texture to this film and how it looks. This feels like it's ripped right out of the 1970s. This feels like a film that could have been made at a different point in time. And Christopher Blovelt, who is a cinematographer, does a great job of capturing this crispness, this texture, this grain to everything, and a bit of a shine. It has a very distinct feel to it. Pacing-wise, this is a very methodical and specific kind of approach to telling out a story. And I will say, like all of her films, I think Reichardt might be a little too methodical for a lot of audiences, might check out at some points in this film, especially as the film, reaching this 2-hour mark, does take its time through some of the elements, and really slows things down to live in that moment. Rob Mazurek, who composed this film, this jazz-infused score is so engaging, propulsive, and just has this energy that even if, Reichardt's taking her time getting us through this story, this score hooks you and keeps you engaged. And that the whole heist situation, which has good tension, heightening suspense with that score, really delivers. And the score is one of the best parts of the film. Story-wise, this really is a tale of 2 parts, as it is that heist film that you expect. The setup, the lies, the deceit, all of those things, getting the team together, the actual heist. But so much of this film, and in very Reichardt fashion, is really about something deeper, and it's about this journey on the run for James, and how all of these lies, this selfishness, this isolation, pushes his wife away, played by Alana Haim, pushes his friends away, played by John Magaro, and his wife, played by Gabby Hoffman. And you have this journey that takes James in these bad places in terms of the law enforcement are after him, organized crime are after him, and this film takes you to a place in its final act that I think might be a bit divisive for a lot of audiences if they really feel satisfied with how this film goes. But I feel like the last sequence of the film really reinforces this idea that choosing a life like this, no matter how much you think you can get away, it's always going to get you. And how this ends, I think, is such an interesting and bold choice for Reichardt, and I think that's what she brings to the table with tackling a genre like this. It subverts your expectation a bit, but it's something that feels very realistic, and it's an interesting twist on what happens when you devolve yourself into a life of crime. And really importantly to this film, I think the cast, especially like Josh O'Connor, James needs to get away with so many things. And Josh O'Connor brings that charisma, that presence, and all of that to the table where we can believe that James can keep tricking his wife, his mother, his friends into buying into his lies and all of these things. And you also get to see O'Connor go through this vulnerability in the latter half of the film as James slowly loses everything. And O'Connor's performance really captures those layers. Alana Haim, I think, does a fine job. I don't think she gets the most to do in this film. Bill Camp is certainly a presence for the few bits that he's there. Hope Davis, who plays James's mother, I think has a specific type of presence that she brings. John Magaro, for the bit that he pops up, just brings that like naturalistic, I'm in an indie kind of film that feels very raw performance. I really appreciate Gabby Hoffman for what she brings, especially one particular scene that she has with Josh O'Connor. This is a great cast. It's really well put together. The score is fantastic. It takes you into some place you might not expect. It could have been tighter. I think it might be a little too methodical for its own good at times, but this is still a film that feels like a fresh take on a heist film that still, still checks some of those boxes that people want out of a heist film. Those are my thoughts on The Mastermind. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.